We will now be going over some of the coverings of the brain and the blood supply to the brain.
In Greek, the term meninges means membranes. The three membranes are the dura, arachnoid, and pia mater. These will be tested on pictures. They can be remembered by their naming scheme and function, and the naming scheme is explained in the written portion of the lab manual. I will cover how to remember them from the function. One function of the dura mater is protection. That's why it is the thickest layer. The arachnoid mater helps facilitate the transfer from the cerebrospinal fluid to the bloodstream, so it needs to have a large surface area. It is named by how it looks, like a spider web. The next layer is the pia mater, which is like shrink wrap, helping keep the cerebrospinal fluid in the brain, and all of the blood going into the brain has to pass through it, so this is the thinnest layer.
Okay, we're going to take off this guy, and we're going to show you the dural sinus. This blue line is representative of the dural sinus. This is the space between the dura mater and the skull as the brain curves inward, forming each hemisphere. Again, it's this blue line here. This area is the Falx cerebri. This large superior portion of the dura mater separates the two cerebral hemispheres. Down the Falx cerebri is the Tentorium cerebelli. That is this area. The tentorium looks like a tent, and its main function is to alleviate the weight of the cerebrum on the cerebellum. So the Tentorium cerebelli is going to be right here. So as we pass that, we are going to hit the Falx cerebelli. That's this area right here. Now we're going to look at the blood supply of the brain. This can best be followed by starting with the Circle of Willis, or the arterial circle. On this model, it doesn't look like a full circle, but in our brain and in other models, we can see that the circle will be complete here. The internal carotid arteries are shown here and here. There are two of them. Internal carotid arteries are part of the Circle of Willis, or atrial circle. Then, going down, we have the basilar artery, right here. The basilar artery. This will then split into our two vertebral arteries here. Note, these are arteries, so blood is flowing away from the heart towards the brain. So the blood will flow from the vertebral arteries into the basilar artery here, and then into the arterial circle.